I haven't posted on this channel in a while. Life happens, family happens, work happens. Like many veterans, I live a normal life now. But there comes a moment when staying silent is no longer responsible. Veterans need to speak up, not for the right, not for the left, but for the country we were willing to put our lives on the line for. For those who are new here, my name is Juan de Dios Collado. I'm a veteran, an immigrant, a father, and someone who deeply believes in unity and the rule of law. Vets for Unity is not just a channel for veterans. It is a voice for veterans speaking to the entire nation, calling for unity, responsibility, and clear thinking without losing our humanity. If you're a veteran and you feel the same way, I invite you to reach out to us by email if you want to speak up. This space is open. Today, we are talking about Venezuela, Cuba, and Iran. Not because they are distant problems, but because everything is connected. When one system collapses, others feel it. When freedom rises in one place, hope rises elsewhere. When one domino falls, it never falls alone. It pulls the others with it. In less than 3 hours, a domino many believe untouchable fell. The dictator Nicolás Maduro. Not the nation of Venezuela, the dictator. And the question is not only whether Nicolás Maduro fell. The real question is, what other dominoes are starting to move now? Cuba, Iran, other regimes sustained by the same system? Because when a dictatorship falls, fear changes side. That is why this moment matters. This did not happen overnight. It had been tried before and it failed. And because of that failure, Donald Trump was harshly criticized. Today, now that it actually happened, those same voices are upset. Let's talk about why. In the early hours of January 3rd, 2026, U.S. Special Forces, including Delta Force units, carried out a precise operation inside Venezuela. In less than 3 hours, Nicolás Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, were captured. No massive bombing, no open war, a surgical execution. That alone marks a major difference from many conflicts of the past. During Trump's first term, the world placed its hope on Juan Guaidó, but that attempt failed for clear reasons. Russia and Cuba sustained the regime. Key sectors of the military did not show up for Juan Guaidó when he needed them. The regime still had internal control. At that time, Trump was politically attacked. One of the harshest critics was Chuck Schumer, who claimed U.S. policies towards Venezuela had failed. The message was simple: Maduro is still there. Today, Maduro is no longer there, and yet many who once demanded results are now outraged, not because of the dictator, not because of the political prisoners, but because of the process. This is where many Venezuelans ask a fair question. Where was this outrage when the dictatorship was destroying lives every day? After the capture, Delcy Rodriguez assumed the role of interim president by orders of the Venezuela Supreme Court. Let me be clear here. This is my opinion based on observable facts. Delcy Rodriguez must appear to be loyal to the system and project continuity. But as long as she complies with what the United States demands, her rhetoric matters less than her actions. Let's be honest, without real U.S. pressure, political prisoners would not be walking free. These releases do not happen by coincidence. They happen because someone holds leverage. What I'm about to say now is a hypothesis, not a confirmed fact. Since January 2025, we saw multiple visits and engagement by figures close to Trump's circle, including Richard Grenell. When Trump publicly said he would work with the vice president, many of us immediately understood that something was already moving behind the scenes. Was there negotiation, pressure, internal fracture? We don't know for certain, but what we do know is this: none of it was in vain. The visit by Grenell last year, since January, none of that was in vain. I want to say something important. I deeply admire Maria Corina Machado. Her courage is unquestionable. I'll also be honest. I wish President Trump had spoken about her differently. But if we are beginning to understand how Trump operates, this may have been something he felt was necessary, given how delicate and dangerous the situation in Venezuela really is. Right now, Venezuela does not have trustworthy people in charge, and if Maria Corina Machado or even Edmundo Gonzalez were placed in power too quickly, they would have no real control over bad actors inside the military. That could put her life at risk at the wrong time, and it could also put Venezuela's hope itself at risk. This is not the moment to impose figures, this is the moment to avoid bloodshed. Smart transitions are not always the most emotional ones, but they are the ones that save lives. Right now, wisdom means moving forward calmly and strategically. Venezuela is not only important because of the geography or internal politics, it is also a key player in global energy. It holds one of the largest proven oil reserves on Earth. Even though production is far from what it once was, that energy potential remains strategically significant. This means several things. First, regional energy independence. Access to this reserve reduces dependence on distant and unstable suppliers. Second, geopolitical leverage. Venezuelan oil has long been a resource all the powers have sought to secure. Controlling it strengthens negotiating power. Third, benefit for the U.S. industry. Gulf Coast refineries are designed to process heavy crude like Venezuela's. And let's not forget something critical. For years, Cuba depended on Venezuelan oil to sustain its system. When that flow weakens, the regime weakens. In short, Venezuela's oil is not just for energy. It is economic power, geopolitical influence, and a stronger foundation for strategic dependence in our hemisphere. And I'll say this plainly. I would rather see the United States lead the world than regimes that suppress their own people. In the United States, you can speak, criticize, vote, and protest. In authoritarian systems, those freedoms are punished. So I ask, respectfully but honestly, where would you rather live? In the US or in a place like China and Cuba or what Venezuela still is today without freedom to speak up? And if you do speak up, you get either put in jail or worse, put to death. When one domino falls, they don't all fall the same day, but they all begin to move. Today, it was Venezuela. And that's not just politics, that's emotional. Because right now in Cuba, there are families feeling something they haven't felt in years: hope. The loss of Venezuelan oil is pushing the Cuban regime into serious crisis, not because the people want suffering, but because the dictatorship can no longer sustain itself as before. And when power weakens at the top, good people at the bottom begin to breathe again. Iran faces something similar: a tired, battered, repressed people who had never stopped longing for freedom. When we watch videos of Iranian culture from the 1970s, it doesn't look like the past. It looks like a future that was stolen from them. Imagine it for a moment: a free and prosperous Venezuela, a Cuba where people don't have to flee to live, an Iran where women are not afraid and culture flourish again. That wouldn't just be a change of government, it would be the emotional liberation of entire nations. That's why the domino effect matters. This is not about revenge, it is about breaking fear, about proving dictatorships are not eternal. And when one falls, the others begin to shake. Today, for the first time in a long while, fear is no longer only on the side of the people, and that changes everything. Thank you so much for watching, and sorry we haven't been actively on this channel for a while. Recently I even had surgery, hiatus hernia surgery, but I'm recovering well, and I want to use this time to put up more contents like this. If you're a veteran, please let me know how you feel about it. If you want to participate, please don't forget to hit like. That really helps the channel to take off, and we hope to be coming back to place at least one video per week in the next few months. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.